Hey everyone, and so you know how people say that they don't have anything to say, like they're completely at a loss for words? Yeah, this is one of those chapters. I'm at a complete fucking loss for words after reading this chapter. And just to give you guys a little bit of context as to where my mind's at right now and just how fucking scrambled it is after reading this chapter, a couple days ago, I went ahead and I looked at the raw scanlations, the ones that weren't translated, of what this chapter, just kind of like spoilers of what this chapter would entail. And when I looked at the spoilers for this chapter, like a lot of it looked epic. Like it looked like we were finally getting into the major plot points with Ziggy, obviously. But everything else was just like, what the fuck is going on here? Now, after having read the chapter, I'm like, it all makes sense. It all makes so much fucking sense. The chronophage is at the center of all of it. The chronophage is the reason for all the events that took place up to the events that basically started the story to begin with. It's because of the chronophage that Ziggy lost his memories. It's because of the chronophage that he didn't remember who he was. So he ended up ultimately, and it is the chronophage that I guess in some ways you could say ultimately led Ziggy on his path to finding Mother. Like the chronophage is the one that started it all, and this is one of those reveals, honestly, that just again when I read those scanlations, it was epic but confused. But reading it, like it all comes together like a beautiful portrait. Like just. It's one of the things that you don't think about it much, but when looking at what narrative purpose the chronophage has had in the story up to this point, it makes so much fucking sense. We haven't really explored, I don't think, too much how the chronophage has had an effect on mechanical beings, but it also makes sense that with the way that the chronophage works, it makes sense that Ziggy would lose his memories to pretty much that thing, and ultimately it is because of the with that being said, though, with this reveal that the chronophage is technically responsible for Ziggy losing his memory, it does add a little bit of context as to why even Ziggy wants to destroy Mother, because I think in some part of that evil part of himself, he does hold whoever's controlling Ziggy holds. We'll get into the who's controlling Ziggy thing in a bit, but whoever's controlling Ziggy, it brought out the raw, I think, resentment within him for what the chronophage did, and I think because Mother controls the chronophages, I think to a degree, he brought out his resentment onto Mother, and that resentment turned into hatred in order to kill him, in order to kill her. So yeah, the chronophage is responsible for it all. It's just but the only question is whether or not it was Mother's fault that happened. It was Mother directly made that happen or not, because yeah, the other part obviously we need to talk about with this reveal with Ziggy is that supposedly we learned that someone is controlling him, like someone made him into the darkness that he is, and into the dark Ziggy, the Dark Lord Ziggy that he became throughout a large majority of this arc. Now, as far as who it could be, but also even more so, supposedly it could potentially be the same person who wiped the Shining Star's memories clean. But it wasn't even Ziggy who did that. But now, as far as who that is, I don't think it's after reading this chapter, I don't think it's Elsie. Like, I don't know. For me, the whole Elsie reveal at the end, it feels a little too on the nose. Like, it feels like the whole Elsie thing feels like a bit of a misdirect to me. Like, I don't think it's her. And in broader strokes, I don't entirely know if it's anyone who's on that lineup of characters that we know either. Like, something about just seeing those lineups of characters makes me think that Mashima is trying to misdirect us. That it could be someone there, but it could potentially not be either. Like, that feels like Mashima's style is like misdirecting us almost. So I don't know if it's anyone we maybe directly know, but like at that point, I don't know who it could be either. So like that's when I'm gonna leave it to the theorists, honestly, because honestly, the only person I think who could have who's responsible for this, who's responsible for wiping Mother's memories, who's responsible for turning Ziggy into, who's responsible for wiping these Starshine's memories, responsible for wiping Ziggy's memories and turning him into the Dark Lord Ziggy. Like, the only one who makes sense to me at this point is Mother herself. But at the same time, that again feels a little too obvious. And so I honestly don't know who it is, but I'm scared to I'm scared as to who it might be. Frankly, like having said all that, let's talk about the other major thing about this chapter, which is that it's revealed to us that that from Ziggy was born on an unnamed planet, a planet that Shiki was born on an unnamed planet. We get the revelation that yes, Shiki was born, he was raised on a planet that existed in the cosmos. That from, I think this chapter honestly more or less confirms to me that yes, it is that Shiki was pretty much born and raised on a planet that existed somewhere like near the cosmos where Mother is located. Like, I think that more than anything has been confirmed with this chapter, that Mother and Shiki do share some kind of a connection, just by virtue of Shiki being raised on a planet near Mother's location. And if just the fact that and going off what we had learned off the little tidbit in the beginning of the series, with Shiki having a vague memory saying, I somehow remember meeting her, it almost makes me wonder, like, if Shiki's homeworld is one of those homeworlds that had revered and given prey to Mother, and that in some form or another, like, and Shiki had maybe met, and because they had revered Mother, he probably met her like as probably met her as a baby. That's why he only has a vague memory of it. Like, but and yeah, now. So that's kind of my theory about the whole case, is that he was raised on a planet that possibly revered and worshipped Mother, just like there are other planets that we've seen that do worship Mother as a god. I think he was born and raised on one of those planets. And like, I don't. But yeah, like, everything. Now, I also believe at this point that, yeah, Shiki also has to make a choice. He has to decide whether he actually, like, he needs to decide like there's no other way. I think at this point he does need to kill Ziggy. Like, which at this point, like if Shiki's going to kill Ziggy already, then to me this kind of, I know it's gonna sound weird, but I am with Shiki having to kill Ziggy, pretty much killing Ziggy. I feel like we are headed even more down a weird sort of like Final Fantasy XIV direction, where whatever power force is controlling Ziggy, it's a power that exists even beyond Mother. So I think that they're going to have to. So I don't know if Mother at this point is even the final destination. I think Mother is like another stepping stone in order to end this whole farce and whatever it is that's controlling him. Like, I think, again, not to get Final Fantasy XIV on it, but I wonder if like the thing that's been controlling Ziggy lives pretty much beyond the stars, like even beyond where Mother lives. So it's like, again, it is kind of giving me the setup is kind of giving me Final Fantasy XIV setups in that regard, but at the same time, the chapter did say that the person who's controlling Ziggy is unlendered, so the question is who. But yeah, I don't know who. I couldn't tell you who, honestly. But yeah, guys, like that's pretty much all I've got for this review. I just, again, comment down below. Tell me what you think. Like, tell me, who do you think this person what do you think of this chapter? Because it's insane to me. And tell me more who you think it is, because among all those, because the person is unlendered, but the person controlling Ziggy is unlendered. I just don't know who it could possibly be at this point. Again, I think Elsie's a little too much of the obvious choice, and weirdly everyone else feels like the obvious choice. I don't know who it could be, but tell me who you think it is. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and on this Crunchyroll. Be sure to hit the notification bell, hit the subscribe button, and just share the video around, guys. Death Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, everyone.